Another way to describe someone who has an uncontrollable interest in horses and a fierce desire to be in the stable is to say they've been bitten by the horse bug. As we found out with our next guest, sometimes other responsibilities in life might help to curb those symptoms a little. But one thing's for sure, you'll find your way back to the barn. Because once you've got the horse bug, there's no cure. Let's meet Rich Borowsky in this edition of Welcome to My World.
When I was a kid, my dad owned a couple horses. And whenever I wasn't in school, I was there. And, I learned how to take care of the horses and started jogging and training, and that's how I got into it.
Rich, who is from New Jersey, drove in matinee races in his home state as a youngster. But his first pari-mutuel victory as a driver was right here in Delaware at Brandywine Raceway in 1983 at just 17 years old. Although the thrill of racing was something Rich was enjoying, his life's calling took him in a different direction and into a career just as dangerous as sitting behind a 1,000-pound animal going 30 miles per hour.
I started off, I had a couple horses to train and drive when I was young, in my early 20s, but I never really had the money behind me to get into the harness business, so I ended up getting a job as a police officer. I did that for 25 years and just retired. It's 3 years, February 1st, that I've been retired. It was a good job. It was probably the best thing I ever did. Now I can retire with my pension, and yeah, it was a good thing.
While being an officer in Marlborough Township, New Jersey, Rich met his wife Jill, who was also on the police force. The couple knew their future plans would not only involve a move from the Garden State to the First State, but no doubt horses would be part of that relocation.
We bought the farm here in Delaware, it's almost 20 years ago. We bought the land, and we always had plans to build a farm down here when I retired. So we did it little by little, and I retired 3 years ago, February, and we moved here full-time that November. We planned the farm out, and we have the track here. It's just a jog track, quarter mile, and we built the barn. And that was always my plan to, retire and get a couple horses to race, just because I like to drive. I started driving a little bit at Freehold before I retired, doing a little bit of catch driving for people I know there. I kind of got back into it before I moved here. My wife, she has her horses, she likes riding, and she has her minis, and she has her pet horses, and she always wanted a horse farm. And if we're gonna do it, then I might as well have my horse too, and I got my track right here, and it's nice to just go out of the house and work right in your own yard. And I ship to train. It's nice, and me and Jill are working together out in the barn every day.
Rich and Jill currently have one racehorse. His name is Just Say Joe, a 4-year-old son of Roll with Joe, who recently broke his maiden at Dover Downs.
We've owned him about 6 months. Jill actually found him on gate, and she said, "Rich, I found a horse. Maybe go check him out and see what you think." And she ended up bidding on him, and she bought him. That was kind of exciting. It was a little rough going in the beginning, trying to get him figured out and get him rigged right. And we were racing at Harrington, and he has a little bit of a tough time getting around a half-mile track. And now that we went to Dover, he seems to like that much better. And he's been doing good.
Rich started loving the standardbred racing business as a kid. And while he opted for a different career outside the sport, the retired police officer never lost his love for horses. Many can tell you that once you've gotten hooked to harness racing, that desire never goes away.
I just like driving horses. I like being on the track. It's exciting. I only want one or two at a time because I want to keep it as a hobby. I don't really want to get into a big business, so we want to keep it fun. One thing nice about the standardbreds is you can be, the owner, the groom, the trainer, the driver. You can do it all. It's not like the thoroughbreds where, they need special people for all different things and jockeys. So That's what's kind of nice about the standardbred business. You can do everything. It's just nice to be back. You know, I was totally out of the business for 20 years. So I didn't even get on a horse for 20 years. So it was kind of nice to come back.